Travis Wingetzel. I just finished watching the Barbie movie. She made me cry after I saw the opening scene. The little girl's going crazy. It is not a movie for little girls. But yeah, I was in heaven until Barbie made me cry. Reality challenged Barbie. But yeah, I was triggered to anger with all the psychological manipulation that was in there. So clearly, the script writer had been abused and was getting brainwashing therapy from a psychologist. And so yeah, the movie itself will lead to a lot of continuing problems. Because men are not like Ken. If you convince them that he needs to go his own separate way and find himself, that's telling him to bleep off. He was doing that for you, and you shut him down. But we're not going to talk about Barbie, because that'll just lead to more tears. About how women get abused and they either become the abusers, like the daughter, or they become depression Barbie. Which the majority of women in the world who are taking depression meds are Mormon women. The sad reality. And like I keep trying to tell you, it's because of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It is not a mental retardation that psychologists try to convince you have. So, Matthew chapter 6, verse 4. That thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. And this is in Scripture, because it's literal history. And so Jesus, it's the words of Jesus, because he says it to the Nephites. It's not plagiarism from the 1769 King James Version of the Bible, errors and all. Nope, literal history. And yeah, it looks to be an exact, yeah, they put a footnote in Matthew at alms, and that's why secret is on the first line. But otherwise, it's exactly the same. Plagiarism is proof of the truth. Right, Kwaku? Where are you, Kwaku? What happened to you? I see they had to have 4 women replace you. See, I can talk about Barbie. I can do more. The Ava Max, the Kings and Queens. She's talking about how the queens are going to get together and party, whereas the kings are fighting and violence and death. Death Barbie. Which, can't remember the name for that one. But if you pay attention, if the queens are partying every day and every night, the people starve. And so that's what was disturbing, is that they're talking about overthrowing the Constitution for both sides. It's an extremist. Barbie overthrows the Constitution to maintain the overthrow, or Ken gets to overthrow the Constitution. There is no constitutional republic involved that's equal for all. Anyway, alms. In historical contexts, money or food given to poor people. Even defining it, they can't do it right. And so, the church makes it no secret that they appear to give alms. Except for the Mexico storm, Acapulco. There's just expression of support, not even thoughts and prayers. But the World Food Program and the Church of Jesus Christ are blessing lives. Is that in secret? No. We have bragging about Family Search in Frankfurt. I can't do the hard R's because my name has an R in it, and I can't do that either. The Church of Jesus Christ helps restore African American schoolhouse in Louisiana. Are they keeping that a secret? Nope. The Church of Jesus Christ gives nearly $1 million to very attractive red. Like I said, Barbie, fashion, awesome. I was in heaven. To Florida Food Bank. No, they gave it to her. She gets paid to run the Florida Food Bank. She has to pay her bills and live in a house and have a lifestyle. The church gave her $1 million. Now, if she's a good person and is actually trying to do something with the Florida Food Bank, yeah, she'll give the majority of that money for food. But the church didn't do their typical 2 truckloads to donate to the Florida Food Bank. Instead, they just gave money, which means she will take some of that money for her paycheck. And it's not a secret. Church donates 33,000 pounds of food. See? To 20 Kentucky organizations. And that's 7 feet of food per 20 Kentucky organizations. Just in case you're wanting to know the math. They're not keeping it a secret. They're declaring it openly. And Oklahoma Latter-day Saints strengthened community relationships through service. Now, that one was not the church, but the church is taking credit for it. And it looks like they're the teenagers in the ward. Oh, no. No, she looks like the mom, but yeah, her son's with her. Oh. Yeah, there's the little kids. Slave labor in the church. Child slave labor. And the elderly. So that's all it's about. And that's just the front page. You didn't have to click all member news or all news releases to go over more. Because here the church is boasting and bragging as Elder Christofferson was at the church leaders urging care for the earth at a conference in Brazil. They don't care about the earth. They never have. Just look at Utah. See how the church has run this into the ground? We had a drought that drained the Great Salt Lake. That was the church. That wasn't... And so, yeah, the church doesn't care about giving. As we all know, they hoard multi-billions of dollars. And you can see why that they are bragging about giving. It's all to do business. It's all to compromise people. Hey, we gave you a schoolhouse. We want you to do us a favor now. We want a temple in your land. We gave you $1 million. We expect you to join the church and pay us back. That's called retaining the gift. That's also in Matthew. Also in the Book of Mormon. But yeah, church, whenever you see an outward performance of goodness, like the Pharisees, as Jesus is explaining to them, and then the widow with her 2 mites, nobody's paying attention to her but Jesus, and points it out to his disciples. Whereas the Pharisees are going, see how great we are, see how much we gave, $1 million, that's more than you'll ever see in your lifetime, aren't we awesome? And they're hiding the fact that they've got multi-billions of dollars. Multi-billions of dollars. And thanks to the Australian press, we know that the church also has offshore bank accounts, which has easily over trillions of dollars. Yeah, they won't let us know about that, will they? They only let us know about Ensign Peak Advisors because there was a whistleblower. Where are the other whistleblowers? Nope. And so, yeah, the church even does a yearly praise us because we give. And folks get up at conference. We've given so many millions every year. Yeah, you get that back in interest every minute. Who cares? So that's the sad reality. The church is reality challenged, or more specifically, they turn Mormons into reality challenged. As the church purposely, maliciously is deceiving you into thinking they're true. When if you actually read your Book of Mormon, hey, they shouldn't be doing that. That's not right. That's criminal. That's bragging. That's boasting. That's proudful. That's sin. And then the prophets just turn it back on you and say, hey, you can't criticize us. We're the prophets. We speak for Jesus. They guilt trip you. Psychological manipulation. And force you to be like Barbie in the real world. So that you become Depression Barbie. Depression Mormon Barbie. That's all. If Mormon women would just recognize that. But they get you when you're a little girl. That's how they're able to deceive you when you're an adult. Because I saw it with Mackenzie when I did the video on her. I watched her reason for leaving the church. And she says she was sexually assaulted. Have no clue what that is. The church leads you to believe that if you have sexual feelings for another person, you're a sinner, and you need to call your bishop and go into graphic detail on the fantasy that you had in your head of that sexual fantasy. Thank you to the Protect LDS Children movement and the bishop who was excommunicated because he requested the church to have the same questions for adults, for children. But, yeah, that's why Mormons are so screwed up. They're sexploited in the church with the sextortion, not sextortion. There's a difference. They compromise you. And so once you hit puberty, the church attacks you. They try to deceive you maliciously to deny your natural body, to shame you, to guilt trip you. And that leads to the depression. And then you take it out on the guys, and the guys take it out on the girls. And it leads to chaos in Barbie Land. So, yeah, and then the church made it worse, as Mackenzie tells us, when she wanted to go on her mission at 23, so 8 years later. She goes in for her bishop's interview, and you can tell she has no clue about Mormonism. She just went through the motions. And so she's even saying she doesn't know if it's the same questions for getting a temple recommend. Yes. But, yeah, when she's asked if there's anything in her life that has yet to be resolved with proper priesthood authority, she decided to say, hey, as a child, I was sexually assaulted by a married priesthood leader. And so the bishop called the hotline, and the hotline said, send her to family services for a psych eval. And she failed because she wanted to expose a married priesthood leader for child sex abuse. And so she was denied going on a mission. And so she was then thinking that she's now depressed. That's her thing. She says in her videos, I have depression. She doesn't realize it was a trap by family services because of the abuse of the church. So she doesn't realize that that's the psychologists at family services who created her in their image to distance her from the church, to victim blame her for being abused. And so when she started hearing about other Mormon leaders abusing their own daughters, that's when she said she left. Can't be true. And so instead of realizing that it was Brigham Young that was the cause of all this from the origin, passed on from child to child over the generations, she instead fell for Brigham Young's lies and blames Joseph Smith. So, and then that distracts her from what's going on with the church's financial crimes that they're doing. Not realizing that if she were to be approved to go on a mission, she'd be committing a pyramid scheme. Not understanding that she'd have to pay tithing and be a full tithe payer in order to go to the temple to get her endowments so that she could go on a mission. And let alone if she decided not to go on a mission, and the guy actually wanted to marry her. Which, yes, even though psychologists have screwed men up too, the natural man is checking you out to see if you are interested in him. He can't be honest with you because his feelings might get hurt. But the mere fact that you catch him inquiring, and you're like, you're being weird, means he likes you. And he wants to make sure he's not setting himself up for depression, Ken. Which I clearly saw with Ken in the movie. He was purposely trying to impress Barbie, and she shut him down. And in the end, it was the wrong ending. That's not reality. But, oh, right, Barbie Land isn't real anyway. It's just little girls playing with the dolls. So, yeah. Too much abuse in this church.